Hey everyone, Nathaniel here. How's it going? This video is more of an annoyance. I'm actually here in Times Square to do some promo things for Greg Gutfeld on this new book, which that'll be a separate video. But this week has been a really rough week for experiences involving people. If you guys aren't familiar with it, earlier this week in Times Square, I prevented a child abduction from taking place just actually about 3 blocks north of where I'm currently sitting. And that's still kind of with me, but today, coming back into the city, I had to mail something at a post office, and what happened was, I was at this little DEP, this little convenience store at the corner of Quinton Road and 16th Street in Brooklyn, where the train station is from where I reside into Manhattan. And I went in there to grab a bottle of water, and there was this person at the register who I thought was talking to the person, ringing people up about if she should buy something or not. I, being smart that I am, was commenting well, you're better off, if you don't have to buy it, don't. If you don't have to spend the money, don't. It's that really great, wise advice that you give to everyone, but you don't follow yourself. One of those moments. And I started talking to her about what it was she was running to buy, and it was these little pods, which we use the word pods, these little nicotine things. For purposes I'm not really for sure on how they work or what you do with them. She says she needed them for her anxiety. I'm you could do other things to get rid of your anxiety. I mean, I initially thought she wanted pods for her ears, like Bluetooth pods, for earphones. I only later found out that they were actually for they were nicotine. They were smoking things. But I was talking with her, why do you need these? Because anxiety. Sing, hum, Bluetooth music to your phone, to your existing earpiece, through your phone. I mean, there's all kinds of options to not have to spend this money, especially if you already have something. And she says she's dealing with anxiety and that she really needed these pods to help with her anxiety. I'm there's other ways of dealing with anxiety. And then she told me that she was actually too high to understand anything that I was saying to her. She was too high. How old are you? She didn't look that old. She looked very young. And especially when I found out that she was trying to get something that was nicotine related. I mean, she told me that she was 17 years old. And there's better things to do. I asked, do her parents know that she's smoking weed and all this stuff? And she said, yeah, her parents knew, and they didn't care. In fact, her mom will normally buy the nicotine pods for her. And I'm that's I understand how parents do that because their kids are addicted. But she's also smoking a lot of weed, a lot of weed, apparently. She says she can't ever be sober because of her anxiety. And I asked her, why are you so anxious? Why do you have all this anxiety? Because I don't know how to discuss my feelings. I don't know how to talk about how I feel. I'm not allowed to talk about how I feel about things. That was the reason why she's always high, because she doesn't know how to talk about what she's thinking, what she's feeling, because she's not allowed to, and she says that she felt like people would not like her, or that people get in trouble for talking about how they feel if it doesn't. She's 17 years old, and she's scared to talk about her feelings or how she's feeling or what she's thinking about, and so she's constantly high on marijuana. This is not about a drug use thing. It's not about if you're pro-marijuana, anti-marijuana. That's not the point. The point is, why are these kids using these drugs? It's not necessarily recreational, as if they're all going out for a couple of beers. I mean, the argument people think of, what's the same as going out for a couple of beers? In fact, marijuana is actually statistically healthier than alcohol, if it's for recreational use. But people abuse alcohol when they're trying to use alcohol to deal with emotional problems or deal with, some type of other medical problems. That same abuse should be applied to nicotine and towards marijuana. That is what this is about. It's clearly a self-medicating deal with something she needs proper treatment with. It's not just about marijuana or anti-marijuana. It's that these drugs are being misused. There's a substance abuse at the heart of it. And she's 17 years old. She tried to use a fake ID, and the clerk turned her down. And then she came back to me and said, will you buy these for me? I'm like, I'm not really, all excited about buying a 17-year-old nicotine products. And then we walk out of the store, and she grabs me by the hand and says, we can work something out. I mean, she proposed sexual acts to get me to buy her these $6 nicotine things. She's 17. You know how messed up that is? This is screwing with my head. A 17-year-old shouldn't be offering sexual acts for a $6 nicotine pod. And she should be getting proper medication, being seen by a proper doctor, getting treatment, going to a therapist, doing proper healthy things. But she's not allowed to do that because it's stigmatized. She can't talk about how she feels because it's stigmatized. She can't, have any of her own thoughts outside of what everyone expects her to think because it's stigmatized. All of these kids are going through this, and you think the problem is that we should decriminalize all these substances that they're clearly abusing the same way that they're abusing alcohol, and alcohol is a legal drug. Substance abuse is substance abuse, whether it's an illegal or illegal substance. Prescription medication is the same problem. A lot of overdoses are done by people misusing legal drugs, even drugs that are prescribed to them. Guys, you've got to think about what you're doing and about how these kids are growing up. If they're so scared, they're so anxious, their anxiety is so bad that they don't know how to talk or think or discuss any of these problems, and that their only remedy is substance abuse, that's bad. And when the fact that it's so bad at 17, this girl looked like she was a normal, healthy individual, and when she's offering those types of things for a $6 nicotine fix, where is that going? Seriously, where is that going to go? You guys, everyone out here is going to be parents. Everyone who's watching this is either already a parent, going to be a parent, or working on this in some type of level. This is horrible. I mean, I really wish I could have found someone to send her to, or a resource or something, but I didn't have anything. And she was mad and upset that I turned her down for something that she was sure would get me to buy something for her. And then, on top of that, another really bad thing, in Manhattan, 2 blocks away from the post office on 34th Street, about a block and a half away from the Empire State Building, there is a one-legged woman in a wheelchair with no pants on, trying to clean herself off in a garbage can. I don't know what all happened, but she only had one leg. The other leg had some type of contraption on it. She didn't have full use of it, and she was bare naked, trying to prop herself up on this wheelchair and on this garbage can, and trying to clean herself on 34th Street. This is actually right across the street from Macy's. Miracle on 34th Street, Macy's and Target. That's where this took place. I mean, what is with New York City today? But I'm back in Times Square. I'm doing my my book promo for the Gutfeld monologues, which I will do other videos separate from this. But after the whole Times Square thing and now this, I'm a little jaded right now. I'm kind of upset with the whole ordeal, and I don't like it. Anyway, until next time, guys, peace out.